Let's see where it is. Oh man. Okay. So on January 10th, 2024, Mr. Clyde Friedman III said, the leaders of Black Tech Twitter are people who can't code. That's the problem with the space. When the majority of your leaders are tech adjacent and influencers, that's when you know you messed up in the game.
Ooh, that's spicy.
And hold on, look, hey y'all. We didn't even know each other at this time, but right under his comment, you see me saying, hey, come elaborate this on the pod with me. You can get it off your chest there, because I think there are a lot of things people have assumed with this tweet. So, man, that thing got like 10K looks. That's crazy.
Yeah. It went viral, and it went viral, and I didn't really expect it to either. I was just going about my day, tweeting how I normally tweet. This wasn't like a special tweet to get engagement. This is what Clyde tweets on a normal-day basis. Somehow it got picked up, and the algorithm just went off with it.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about it. What made? I guess what prompted you? I guess to say that, or what are you seeing on your timelines that's maybe others aren't seeing, and they felt also a way about?
Yeah, so I've been seeing it for a while, so it wasn't like okay that day I saw something that triggered me. It's something that I've been seeing for a while now, ever since I got in the space, and when I say the space, I don't mean the tech space. I really mean the this space around Twitter, this Black technical space around Twitter. I noticed that a lot of people really are like selling courses. They're really promoting lifestyle content, and they're in tech, right? They're in tech, and I realized that a lot of these people, a lot of the major voices that I was seeing on my timeline, your timeline may differ, but a lot of them weren't technical, right? So I always say I found that the space was the most non-technical tech space I've seen in a while. And me and a couple of friends, we discussed this, this on the phone behind the scenes. But then I saw a tweet, and with everything was going on with with the layoffs and everything like that, and there's this me seeing these people just talk about tech, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about because you're just an influencer. You don't really have that in the field experience. You're not building, and that's fine. Like I said before, I managed a company. I was a CTO. I know how the different parts need to come together to craft software, so that's fine. But I just felt that there was a misbalance as far as the people giving the message and exactly what the message was, right? So the space is skewed, and I see it in my my personal life. A lot of time when I go to these mixers, I'm like the only engineer there. If I'm not the only one there, it's usually one or two of us, but everyone's like a recruiter, everyone's like a PM or a business analyst. Like, if you're an engineer, you're the minority in the room. So I kind of noticed this, and I'm like, why is this the case? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what spurred that tweet. So what spurred that tweet is really not to denigrate, people who aren't engineers. I think that's what people kind of took from it. But what I think I really trying to call to, I want more people in the space that are technical. And I think that goes into a way deeper than that tweet. I think it comes to upbringing. I think it comes to making tech sexy again. I think that's really comes down, making tech sexy again, and making it more accessible. I think that's the main thing. So making it sexy and accessible, I think that would change the perception of people who want to get into tech. And another this anecdote from my personal life, people all the time come to me and say, hey, Clyde, they see, I'm doing well, I got the house, I got the, they see the Tesla, oh, I want to get like you, bro. And I tell them what I do, they're like, oh, word. And then, no, I'm not lying. I tell them what they do, then I'm like, oh, you're an engineer, man, that's cool, man, I wish I could do that, but, that's too much for me. And then in my head, I'm like, why do you think that you can't do it? Like, I'm no tech savant, I'm no rock star coder. I think I'm pretty mediocre, to be honest with you, but I think that if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I'm not just saying that. Like, people who know me will tell you, like, no, like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I feel like people think that they come into the game saying, like, I don't want to do engineering. So what they do is they say, let me try to get into tech the most non-technical way I can. That's what I noticed. So they'll try to get in doing anything but technical stuff. And I think that needs to change.
So it's like a lot to unpack there, right? I think number one, what's happened over the last 4 years is people have been conflating the tech industry with like tech jobs because you could be in tech in a different industry because your job is in fact technical.
Mm.
So that's one thing. I think it also depends as well as, like I said, I think what people consider to be non-technical is subjective. Because like my last episode with Terry, I would consider Terry a very much so technical, non-technical person. Like she probably is not the person doing the implementations, but she's very skilled at what it takes to do infrastructure projects in the tech space because she did it so long. She started rambling off different things. I said, I know she knows her job. That's why she's a technical project manager. So I think it's different things. I think some people did get offended because maybe some people have just built their whole persona about, oh, I'm in tech type stuff. I do know, so, and I'm with you. So there are two things. There are people who've been in for a while who they probably are doing their lifestyle thing. However, they have a track record of before that blew up of showing, hey, I did this for X amount of years. This is what I started as. There are those. Then there are the people that just came and they've just been deemed a leader because they got popular fast and they showed the stuff that they have, which is not a hating thing. Like I don't like care about what nobody got going on because at the end of the day, I'm gonna always do what I do no matter what. But I think like when you say technical, it are different things, right? Because like if outside of a software engineer, you got security engineers who they do their technical part on there. Like I'm not a engineer right now. They have something like in the blue team called detection engineering, where you can pretty much work on detections. And that's something I'm going towards just because it's just another skill set to add to the utility belt. Yep. But even in my roles, there are certain things you have to be very skilled at to understand what the problem, like especially if you're dealing with something like incident response. Like, so I think a lot of people just felt the way about, oh, you not building nothing, you ain't Bob the Builder, so you not in tech, so you don't. Oh, yeah. I don't say some people might have been insecure about it, but I think some people took a slight at you saying they're not building and the game is messed up and feeling like, hey, no, my contributions matter. Because like at the end of the day, people want to feel like they are providing value, they're doing something. So even the non-technical program managers and all those other people, they want to feel like, hey, now who are you to tell me that what I'm doing is not important? Who are you to tell the left guard on the football team that I didn't help Pat Mahomes stay upright to throw the touchdown?
Yeah. Understandable and totally understandable, and that's why I'm here to clear it out, right? So when I say technical, that software engineering isn't the end all be all for what's technical. Okay, I just want to get that in the air right now. What I meant by technical is like I consider anyone that has to have a specific technical knowledge on something technical, right? So that's the cloud engineers, that's the cybersecurity. I even include UX designers in that. Yeah, I always say that if I was an engineer, I'd be a UX designer. UI UX designer, and it goes. There's other ones off the top of my head I can't really think about right now. But yeah, I agree with you. I think some people took offense because they took the tweet as, okay, you don't code, you don't build, you ain't shit, basically. And that is not what I'm coming at. I'm coming at balance, right? So everything I say is balance, right? Yeah. I just said it's skewed. That's why most of the people who have the biggest voices in the space aren't technical. And when I say aren't technical, I mean the ones who have never been technical, not like people who did, like let's say right now, let's say if I stopped coding right now and became a PM or something like that. I'm not talking about people like that. I'm talking about people who've never done anything coding at all, don't want to necessarily, and don't have a passion for it. So their perspective is valid. Don't get me wrong, but their perspective is kind of skewed because they've never been in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, to bring up an analogy, I would say it's like being on the football team, like you mentioned before, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that go to being a great football team. You have the players, the coaching staff. Then beyond the coaching staff, you have ownership. You have the franchise people managing the franchise. You have the people on the sideline. You have the water boys, right? They can all say they're part of that football team. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. But you also have to acknowledge the differences in the role players on that football team. That's all I was saying. Like, you wouldn't say that, the football player, if you had a discourse about football, and then most of the people who are talking about football are like coaches and the coaching staff and the people who manage the players, and there's like one football player. You're like, hey, can we get some balance here? Because he's actually in the field. His perspective is kind of important because he's actually doing the work.
Yeah, but I think it's different though, because we just saw the game just come down to coaching. The coaches are supposed to set you up to put you in good positions to succeed. So like some of your non-technical parts that have the direct influence on whether resources or different things you need to make your apps or build stuff, they are set up to help you succeed. So it's just one of those things, like everything kind of like that circle of life. Like it has to, how everything moves will depend on how functional the other things go. Now, sometimes I think we've seen in bad coaching where, hey, if the person on the field is saying, hey, I see this, why you keep on trying to tell me this, and they run in cover two and they are literally blanketing this guy over here. Stop trying to tell me to do this route. If I check into this post, it's going to be wide open. Stop telling me that. I know what I'm seeing. So we got that option too. So I get what you're saying too. I think it just goes on both hands of.
But my thing is different too, because I bring it down to this. Could you have football? Could you still play football without the coaches?
Yes.
Exactly. Could you play football without the players? No. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
I think that's a good one, but I guess in regards to what you mean, like play football without the coaches.
If you're playing Super Bowl right now, right,
mm-hmm.
and the coaches drop dead,
mm-hmm.
would the game still go on?
Yes.
The reverse, it wouldn't go down.
But who gave the players the plays?
The coach does play the play, but the quarterback can do it too. LeBron does it. LeBron's a player coach.
Yeah, but who? But I see if we're gonna go on that straw man argument, then we got to say who's the person that started all the plays just from the jump, from the root of everything. So it's like, how
they can do that though?
No, but I'm saying, how do they know? Like, because that's the thing too. Sometimes them players aren't making good decisions because
sometimes the coaches aren't.
Let's just, bro. All right, bet. Since you want to go that route, well, let's talk about people playing football in the hood. Automatic too. Everybody running nines. Like, that's what it's going to turn into.
I disagree with that because I think, like, at this point, I think that the breakdown, like, for example, like in my company, right, we don't have certain roles anymore because we've realized that the engineer can do those roles. For example,
we was talking about that last pod.
We have no scrum master.
We was talking about that last pod.
Because we can do that. We don't have any dedicated QA because we do the QA ourselves, right? And I think what people are fearful is that companies are getting leaner now and that they're realizing that, hey, some of these jobs are kind of fluff, where engineer can just do those jobs. Yes, it's a little, more time on their plate, but the engineer can do their job as well. So that's what I think is the case. Like, especially with someone like me, I could do the UX too. I could do UX design too. I could do the Scrum. I can do all those jobs. I'm just an engineer, and I feel like that's what we're seeing with the layoffs. They're becoming lean, and then when companies come lean, what's the first to get chopped off? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, and I'm not degrading that. I'm just saying that's what it is. And this gets into the concept of flat techness. I don't think anything should be flat techness. Yes, you're in tech. I'm not discriminating that. You're in tech, yes. But it's a difference between being a technical worker and working in tech. Anywhere I go, anywhere you go, you're still going to be a tech worker. You can work for a farming company. You can work for a ballet production. You're still going to be a technical worker because the nature of your job is ingrained in it. If I'm a salesperson, if I work for farming, I'm in farming. I do sales for farming. I'm not a technical worker. If you do sales for Google, because what I've noticed is that because of this idea of flat techness, that the janitor now works at the Google building can say he works in tech now. People at Best Buy are telling you, because they sell the TV, they work in tech. And I think that they have a better case to say they work in tech than the janitor does. But I feel like that's the point that we're coming to right now. And I feel like that kind of erases the unique the unique journey and struggles that people who are more technical have to go through, right? There's a reason why the salaries are different for people who are more technical because there's a higher learning curve. And I feel like flat techness erases that. Oh, you're just the same as me. Like, did you didn't have to learn these data structures. You didn't have to learn these algorithms. You didn't have to learn it. You set up a server or database. It's different. There's levels to it. Like that's all I'm saying. There's levels.
You know what's funny? I'm going through some of your quotes of this. That's why I've been looking down to people. Like, knowing I'm doing, I've been looking down. It's like, how is this gatekeeping? Do people actually know what gatekeeping means? Because gatekeeping means you're trying to prevent people from doing something.
Yeah.
people use words so wrongly. Like, he's not gatekeeping at all. He's not withholding information from you. He's not purposely not letting you get into the field like they were doing some of us years ago when we first were trying to get in. Mm-hmm. So that's not what he's doing. But I've really been trying to find the quote where you and that person went back and forth, and like, I guess why that they felt they want to get you fired. So that's what I'm really trying to find.
Yeah. So just to give some background on that. So throughout this whole Twitter fiasco or X fiasco, someone tried to get me fired from my job. And this is a person that purports to be for black tech and for the unity of black tech, but yet they try to get a black man fired from his job so that he couldn't feed his family anymore off of tweets that maybe a disagreement among ideas, but definitely nothing that deep for you to, one, look me up, two, find me on LinkedIn. I'm assuming you found me on LinkedIn. Find my job. Find out the number to even report me on a job. I don't know how to even find that number. So you're doing some research to find this number and to report me. And the only thing I can think about is, like, obviously this person's a coward. She's a coward because she blocked me. One, we weren't following each other from the beginning, but when I found out, I was like, blocked too. So you're gonna do some coward move, report me, and then trying to hide behind blocking me. It was pure cowardice, and really just shows how people really aren't what they purport to be. Excuse me. And I really that's my first really experience of someone that took it to heart like that. Yeah, I had the discourse.
Because they could have, the thing is, she could have just blocked you from the jump.
Blocked me from the jump and kept it funky. But the thing is, this person lives, this person has no life.
They might got a crush on you.
Either that or they got no life. I think this person has no life.
What if that's not even the person? What if that's like a fake page? And they're saying what if they're impersonating the person they say they are?